Weather alert here. We are continuing with the tornado warning for parts of Grady County that continues in effect here until 4:45 this afternoon. Again, you can see this line of really two discrete supercells or two separate supercells, but they've kind of formed together in a line and they are moving east and also to the northeast and in general towards the southern sides of the Oklahoma City metro. We've got to track this very carefully. As we take a look at live mesoscan radar, again, you can see exactly where the tornado warning is here. There's Ninnekah all the way back down through Agworm. So again, we're tracking this area right here very carefully. And again, that tornado warning does extend all the way to near the Alex area as well. So again, if you're in that area, immediate tornado precautions. And overall, this activity, it is tracking to the east, but also a bit of a northeasterly jog there as well. Now, we've got our team of trackers out there on it. And again, you're taking a live look here. And again, this is Trey and Doug out there on it. And guys, you're on the live line. Go ahead and give us an update. Tell us exactly where you are. And I know you're on a fairly bumpy road there, but tell us what you're seeing out there on that storm right now. Okay, it looks like we just lost them off of the live line as well. But again, we're going to kind of continue to stick with their shot right there. Again, we are tracking this really moment by moment. Again, as it is getting a little bit closer now to the southern sides of the Oklahoma City metro. But again, tornado warning, it does continue here for at least another 15 minutes here. Again, that's for parts of southern Grady County from south of Chickasha down through the Ninnekah, Agworm area as well. There's Doug and Trey. You can see their live GPS location. So they're looking to the north and also to the northeast at that storm right there. Let's go and zoom this out. And let's go and take more of an overview of, again, exactly where we're looking at here. And as we do zoom this out here a little bit, again, you can see that now the southern sides of the Oklahoma City metro, again, a definite heads up as this activity is in general, again, tracking towards your locations, again, from the Moore area all the way down through Norman, and then again back down through Noble, Purcell, all those locations, again, heads up as well. Again, the center of the rotation, or the most concerning part of this storm, that's still well south. In fact, it's also south of Chickasha as well. But again, we are tracking this very carefully. Trey and Doug, it looks like you guys are back on the live line here with us. Go and tell us exactly where you are, and go ahead and give us an update.
Okay, we're a few miles south of Alex, Oklahoma. We're in pretty heavy rain. We were north of Rudd Springs, and we could see a wall slap. We couldn't see any rotation coming down towards the ground, but we did get into probably 45 to 50 mile an hour straight line winds out of that storm.
Okay, yeah, I mean, it definitely means business. I mean, there's no doubt about that at all. So we've got your live shot there, guys, and I know you're fairly rural there, so it's going to kind of pause intermittently. But again, here's Trey and Doug. You can see their live GPS. That's where they are. Again, here's the center of rotation right up here. So let's go and zoom this in. Let's go and take a closer look. And you guys are still on the live line. Just go ahead and stand by there for 1 second. We're going to get right back there to you. But again, the area we're most concerned about, and again, you can still see exactly where this is. Again, it's right here. Again, here's the center of rotation. It's right here. In fact, it's now really just on the northern sides of Alex. That's where Trey and Doug, in general, that's the direction that they're heading to. But again, if there is anything still on the ground, it's going to be right there in that area. And again, tracking to the east and to the northeast. Here's Noble, Slaughterville, Purcell, Kreiner. Again, you folks right now are not in the tornado warning, but you need to be tracking the storm very, very carefully. Let's go back to the live shot that we have here from Doug and Trey. And guys, it looks like if you can, maybe jumpstart your stream. It looks like it maybe froze for a second, but you're still on the live line. You guys are still on the southern sides of this storm. Is that right? Go ahead and give us an update. Tell us what you're seeing. And again, tell us in general exactly where you guys are, your exact location as well.
We're getting ready to come into Alex, Oklahoma, and we're in extremely heavy rain. Like, our visibility is only maybe around 100 yards, and it looks like we're coming into the area of rotation, and we're getting some pretty strong winds out of the west.
Hey, Doug. Let me tell you something. You guys are so. Let me go and update. Your stream is kind of freezing a little bit, and I know it's fairly rural out there. So they're coming in right here. So their GPS, because it's so rural, the GPS hasn't updated either because it goes off the internet. So they're actually over here in Alex. This is where they are. This is the center of rotation. So they're right there. I mean, they're basically just to the south of it, and they're looking at it. So if you guys can go ahead and jumpstart your stream again, and if you can get it back up and going. But again, you guys are looking at the rotation there. Again, from Alex, again, looking to the north. And again, just go ahead. I just wanted to show everybody exactly where you were. But go ahead and give us a play-by-play. And again, tell us what you're seeing. You're on the southern sides of that rotation. From your vantage point, I know you said the visibility is low. There's a lot of rain. These are what we call high precipitation supercells. A lot of times it's hard to actually see the tornado. It's most likely rain-wrapped. But again, from your vantage point, what are you seeing? Are you seeing any kind of wrapping rain curtains? Or give us an update from that vantage point.
We've seen wrapping rain curtains about 10 to 15 minutes ago before we got into the really high precipitation, and we're starting to get hail. I can't tell a size yet, but we can hear it hit the roof. As soon as I can see it, I'll try to give you an update on the size.
Okay, and if you guys can jumpstart your stream, I know it's rural there, and I hate to keep saying that over and over. I know it's going to kind of kick in and kick out a little bit, only for the fact, again, you're fairly rural. But if you can, go ahead and try and get the stream going again, just so we can see exactly what you're seeing, because this is important now, folks, especially as this is really starting to get fairly close to the western sides of the Oklahoma City Metro. Trey and Doug, they're on it. They have live video. We'll get that back up here in just a second. But brand new tornado warning now, and this is going to be extended all the way into the Cleveland County area, and it does include Cleveland, Grady, McLean counties, and this is going to be until 5:15. So this is going to be a fairly serious situation, as again, this tornado warning and this tornado warned storm is now coming in on the southern sides of the metro. So again, this storm means business. It does have a history of producing tornadoes, and again, like I mentioned, Trey and Doug, they're right there on it. This is the brand new tornado warning. Let me go and show you that. Again, this red box. But notice it does include Norman, Noble, all the way down through Purcell, all of I-35 through there, everything in between, even Blanchard. So again, this storm means business. It has produced a tornado, potentially 2 tornadoes today, and again, it does continue tracking again to the northeast towards the metro. And to go ahead, Doug and Trey, sounds like you guys are on the line there with us. Go ahead and give us an update. Tell us what you're seeing.
Well, we're now down to maybe about 15 to 20 yards of clear visibility, and starting to get more and more hail hitting us. Extremely heavy rain. We're starting to see some localized flooding, and that's about all I can say right now.
Hey, and let me ask you guys this real quick. I hate to interrupt you. Let me ask you this real quick. How far away are you guys from Alex right now? So let's go and find out exactly where you are in regards to this rotation, because this is serious now, folks, as this is really coming in now to the southern sides of the metro. So here's Alex. Tell us again exactly where you are. There's their GPS. It's just now updating. There it is. So they're on the southern sides of Alex. This is the rotation right here. And, I tell you what, guys, so it's lifting off to your northeast. You've got to stay with this, because this is, folks, I'll tell you, it's turning more northeast. This is turning more northeast, and again, this is eventually going to head right over towards the Noble area, southern sides of Norman, and Slaughterville. This storm means business, and again, there is a potential for a tornado to be on the ground right now with it. So, Doug and Trey, if you guys can stay on that storm, I know you're on the southern sides, but we really need you to stay with that storm. Also, check your stream again if you can jumpstart that, but tell us exactly where you are. Are you still south of Alex, or are you guys north of Alex now?
We just got into Alex, and we're getting on to Highway 19, and we're going to go east and try to jump out in front of it if we can.
Okay, that's perfect right there, guys. And again, like I said, I know it's rural, but if there's anything you guys can do for your stream to get it going, that's what we really need. We really want to see those live pictures of exactly what's going on. But here's what they're going to do. They're going to jump east. They're going to try and get out in front of this. And again, they really need to, because again, like I mentioned, this is now again coming directly on into the southern sides of the metro. Not more rather, but Norman, Noble, all the way down through Purcell, and again, everything in between. We're talking about locations like Blanchard there as well. heads up, this storm means business. Again, it has had a history of producing at least 2 tornadoes today. So again, this is quite a potent situation now coming in the southern sides of the metro. And again, keep in mind, it's 4:30 right now. This could be arriving after 5 p.m. Of course, there's going to be a lot of people on the roads heading home from work. So right now is what you need to know. You need to at least plan ahead. If you live in the southern sides of the metro, I would not be caught out on the roads with this storm now approaching from the southwest. So again, if you're at work, you need to make plans of potentially sheltering in place wherever you are, again, from Norman all the way down through Purcell. But again, I would not be caught trying to drive home as this storm is now approaching from the southwest. But it definitely means business. Let's go back to their stream. It looks like they've got their stream back up. They're trying to get back in front of the storm. And Trey and Doug, you guys are still on the live line with us. And again, we can see you're in lots of heavy rain. That's why your stream is intermittent from time to time. You said you've been in some hail as well. But again, as you guys are tracking east now, you're looking to your north. What are you seeing to your north? Are you seeing the lowering at all with this storm?
No, we're seeing just rain, just intense heavy rain. Like there's no visible lowering anywhere that we can tell.
See, that's the only problem with these, what we call high precipitation supercells, is the fact a lot of times it's rain wrapped. And that's potentially what's going on with this storm right now. We don't have confirmation that there is still a tornado on the ground with this storm, but if it is, it's most likely rain wrapped, and those are very hard to see. So again, we're still looking at Doug and Trey's live stream. Again, they're in Grady County. They're on the southern sides of the storm. They're tracking eastbound. They're going to get out in front of it, and then we'll get a picture of the storm again as it's approaching them from the west. But again, we just want to reiterate. Let's go back to radar real quick. We're going to get back to their live shot here momentarily. Let me zoom this out, because again, this is really important information now. Right here, just after 4:30, live on Oklahoma Weather Tracker TV, we have a tornado warning that's now in effect for the southern sides of the metro. It does include Norman, it does include Noble, Slaughterville, all the way down through the Purcell area and everything in between. This is a supercell right there, and it has produced at least 2 tornadoes today. Tornado warning continues with it. There's potentially still a tornado on the ground right now. The bad thing about this storm is that there's a lot of heavy rain involved with this storm, and so it does have the potential to be rain wrapped, meaning we may not be able to see it. But this is a not good situation now approaching the western sides of the southern sides of the metro. Now, Trey and Doug, they're on it down there. We can go back to their live stream, and they're just on the southern sides of the storm. They're basically paralleling it, trying to get out in front of it. They're still involved in a lot of heavy rain right there. And guys, I know you're still tracking to the east, but give us an update. I know there's lots of heavy rain, but can you see a lowering at all off to your north? That's the big question right now.
Hey, Will, you're starting to break up a little bit. It might be my service. Can you repeat what you just said?
That's fine, guys. I know you're involved in a lot of heavy rain right there. You're basically right there in the middle of that supercell. But again, as you guys are tracking east, you're looking off to your north. Are you seeing any lowering? I mean, that's going to be the key thing, and that's going to be the thing that's so hard about these HP supercells or these high precipitation supercells. Sometimes you can't see the lowering, you can't see the base, so they're really having to look hard to the north. Again, looking through that rain. But again, are you guys seeing the base of the storm or any kind of lowering associated with it at all?
No, not yet. It looks though like we're starting to get a little bit out of the rain. I can kind of see light through the rain, but so far no lowering that I can tell for sure. Just rain.
Okay, and so that's going to be the thing that we've really got to watch here, because again, like I mentioned, it's going to be hard to see this lowering for sure. You know what I mean? Again, with all the heavy rain that's involved with this storm right here, so we've got to track it very carefully. Let's go back over to radar here, guys, and thanks for hanging on the live line. We're going to get right back to your live stream here momentarily. How far until you guys, real quick, Trey? How far until you guys are out in front of that storm? It looks like again you're on the southern sides of the core. How far until you guys actually get out in front of that storm?
It looks like maybe about 3 to 4 miles.
Okay. That's perfect. That's perfect. We're going to check right back in with you guys here in just a second. But here's what I want to do. I want to zoom in the radar, and I want to actually take a look at velocities. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to look at the spin associated with this storm. And again, we're going to get right back to Doug and Trey. They're on the live line with us. We're going to take their live stream. I can see it right there. And so this is what we're looking at here. We're seeing the red and the green. This is the area of spin. And I tell you what, folks, this is a big mesocyclone. This is a strong storm, and it really is not showing any signs of going away right now. So this is not good news. I can tell you that right now. From Blanchard to Norman, to Noble, to Purcell, and again, that I-35 corridor there, everything in between. And the bad thing about it is, folks, this continues to turn northeast. You can see this is turning more northeast, and again, this is taking almost now, it's taking now almost the centerline track towards Noble and even South Norman, the OU campus, Highway 9. So this is not good right there at all. Let's go back over to the live stream here with Trey and Doug, and they're still on the live line here with us as well. I know you guys are on the southern sides of the storm. You're about to be out in front of it, so we're able to get a good look at it here in just a second. But again, from your vantage point, go ahead and give us an update again with what you're seeing. The one bad thing about it, folks, and again, if you're just now joining us here on Oklahoma Weather Tracker TV, you see all this heavy rain. This is a rain-wrapped this is a high precipitation supercell potentially producing a rain-wrapped tornado. So the bad news is the tornado could be rain-wrapped, and it's going to be really hard to see it. So that could be the bad news right there. But again, Doug and Trey, they're continuing to the east there. They're going to get out in front of the storm here momentarily. But you guys are still on the live line. Go ahead and give us an update and tell us what you're seeing where you are right now.
Right now, we're looking east and, southeast, and we're starting to see the edge of the storm, and the rain's starting to let up a little bit. We're hoping once we get out here, we can look back to our north and see if maybe we can see a lowering.
Yeah, that's going to be key right there. And I'm just looking at some new information.
One to our north as well.
Go ahead and say that again, Trey.
Say that again?
I'm sorry, Trey. Sorry about that. I know the communication there is pretty bad. You guys are right there in the middle of that storm. But go ahead and say what you were saying one more time. I was just looking at some new information here. Go ahead and repeat what you were saying.
The edge of the storm going southeast.
Hey, we're over here south of Dibble. I see the lower ground.
We're you can actually see the edge of the storm and the rain starting to let up. And looking to our north, we're starting to actually be able to see the edge of the storm. So far, no lowering that we can see from our vantage point.
Okay, thanks for that update right there, guys. Hey, I want to go back to radar here just real quick. We're going to get right back to Doug and Trey. They're just now coming out of the rain, and whatever is there, they're going to be able to see here real quick. Now, let's look at this, okay? So I've switched the radars around here just a little bit, and I'll tell you what, and this right here, and I can hear you in my ear too, Trey, so hold on one second. This right here, this is broad rotation, folks. This is broad rotation. This storm means business now coming in really on the southern sides of the metro. This is strong rotation still. We don't have any indication that the tornado is on the ground right this very second, but the bad news about this storm is there's heavy rain involved and the tornado could be rain wrapped. So again, right now it's right about 4:40 here in the afternoon. This is a lot of people are heading home from work right now. And I tell you what, folks, if you live in Norman, all the way down through Purcell and everywhere in between here, you need to start thinking about what you're going to do. I would not be caught out on the road with this storm approaching from the southwest. So if you're still at work right now, I would think about, if you feel safe, sheltering in place at work. Again, if you're between Norman and Purcell. Don't be caught out on the road with this storm. This storm means business. There's still a strong potential for this to have a tornado on the ground right now. Let's go back over to Doug and Trey. They're on the live line here with us. And we'll switch back over to their live stream. And guys, go ahead and give us an update. I know you're still just to the south of the rotation, but again, you're making your way basically into the clearing slot now where we should have, again, at least better visibility of what's going on back up in there. But go ahead and give us an update.
Yeah, we just got the edge of the storm, and looking back to the north, still can't see a lowering for all the trees and hills, but like we can see maybe a little bit of rotation just in the clouds, but no actual lowering itself.
Okay, you know what, guys? This is what, let me tell you this right now. So we're just getting a report from a spotter that it is on the ground, and it's rain wrapped, and it's near Dibble. Let me go and switch the radar around here. Let me go and switch this around. So we are getting reports. We're going to get back to their live stream here in just a second, but let me go and zoom this in. And again, we are getting reports from a trained spotter that it is on the ground, and it's going to be near Dibble. And this is it right here. So Cole, Goldsby, all the way over to Noble, and Norman. This is it, and this is a mean storm. You can see basically a potential comma head debris ball right there. We don't know for sure that's debris, but that's a signature that this could be debris, and it's coming into the Dibble area right now. Cole over through Goldsby, Noble, Slaughterville, Purcell, and definitely the southern sides of Norman. It's coming in right now. This is not very far off at all. You need to take your immediate tornado precautions. Again, here within the last 5 minutes, again, a train spotter, again, has reported that tornado on the ground. Now, with that being said, let's go back over to Trey and Doug's live stream. Hey guys, if you can, go ahead and jumpstart your stream one more time because it looks like it's frozen. And I know sometimes down there the cell phone service is a little bit spotty, but if you can, go ahead and jumpstart that stream. And you guys are still on the live line here with us, and I can hear you working on it there in the background. But again, as you're kind of coming out of this storm now, tell us what you're seeing as you're getting into some better visibility. You're coming out of the rain again. As you're looking back off to your north, again, can you see the actual lowering with this storm?
Well, from our vantage point, we can kind of see a lowering out there. But for all the trees and stuff, it's hard to make a good call on whether or not it's an actual lowering and not just like a scud.
Right. No, yeah, I understand exactly what you're saying. Check your stream again, guys, if you can. It sounds like there's tornado sirens going off right now. We can hear the tornado sirens going off right there. So we're going to get back to your stream here in just momentarily. As soon as you guys get it back up, just let us know because we do need to take that stream. This is really important stuff now. So let's go and zoom this out just a little bit. We're going to zoom out radar, and we're going to go back to velocities. And we're going to get right back to their live stream here just momentarily. I know they're adjusting their camera right now. But again, for the southern sides of the metro, we really can't stress it enough. This is a potent situation. And again, we did just have a report about 7 minutes ago from a train spotter, someone that I trust, that again, there is still a rain-wrapped tornado on the ground very close to the Dibble area. We have broad rotation right here. And again, this storm is now coming in to the southern sides of the metro, Norman, Noble, Slaughterville, all the way down to Purcell. Immediate tornado precautions. You can't wait. You've got to do it right now. And like I mentioned, it's 4:45 here in the afternoon. A lot of people, you're starting to head home from work. You're starting to think about heading home from work. Do not be caught out on the streets in your car as the supercell is now coming into the southern sides of the metro. I can't stress that enough. Do not be caught out in your car, again, as this is coming in on the southern sides of the metro. Let's go back over to a normal mode here on radar, and we'll get right back to Trey here in just a second. And as we go back over to normal mode here, we'll get their live stream pulled back up. But again, folks, just looking at reflectivity here, again, you can see exactly where the curvature is, where the comma head is. This right here is where the potential tornado would be. And again, I hate to keep saying this, but it looks like there's more of a northeasterly, east-northeasterly track to this storm, and I think it's going to track potentially more up into the Noble area and even potentially the southern sides of Norman, and this is not good. Again, within about the last 10 minutes, we did have a report of a rain-wrapped tornado in and near the Dibble area, so again, within the last 10 minutes, we've had reports of it being on the ground, and again, this does continue tracking east and also east-northeasterly from Norman to Noble to Slaughterville to Purcell. Everywhere in between, you've got to take your immediate tornado precautions right now. You can't wait. You have no more time. This storm means business. You absolutely have to do it right now. And again, like I mentioned, do not be caught out on the streets as this comes in, especially if you're trying to head home from work or something like that. Do not be caught out on the streets as the storm is now approaching. Doug and Trey, you guys are still on the live line here with us. Tell us where you are right now and give us an update with what you're seeing.
We're in Lindsay. We're right on the edge of the storm now, and we can look straight towards Dibble, and we can see some very low clouds. Not sure on yet if it's a wall cloud or just low clouds, but the clouds they're almost on the ground.
What it is, let me tell you this right now, Doug. What it is, this is a low base, a very low base mesocyclone, and I think there's an opportunity for this to still be on the ground. The reason I say this is a low base mesocyclone, and the reason Trey's saying it looks like it's on the ground, is because it almost is. This is broad, super huge broad rotation. You can see it all right there. This is very broad rotation, and again, everything is basically just kind of wrapping up in there. And with that broad rotation, it's going to be a very big, wide mesocyclone. And again, that's exactly exactly what we're seeing there. So it's going to be a very low base, and a lot of times you'll hear the term mothership. Sometimes these look like a mothership as they're coming in, and that's exactly what this is. But again, within the last 10 minutes, a report that this was on the ground, again, near the Dibble area. So we've got to take this very seriously. And again, for the southern sides of the metro, the time is really up. It's coming in right now. Hey, Doug, is there any way you guys can jumpstart your live stream to get that back up? I know you guys are still on it. You're still on the live line. We're just waiting to get your stream up. But go ahead and give us an update. Tell us again where you are, and again, tell us exactly what you're seeing.
We're just Lindsay, and we can see the base of the storm now, and it's very high precipitation. Can't see a funnel yet, but we can see the base. And we're still trying to get our live stream up. It's starting to be difficult.
Okay, that's okay. I know sometimes it is when you're out there storm tracking. I know sometimes it is hard to keep it up and keep it going, but if you can, get it back up because we need those pictures right away. The OHP is now stopping traffic in Norman. You're not able to go southbound on I-35 in Norman at all. It's completely shut down. And again, not a good situation. Tornado warning does continue for the southern sides of the metro. We're seeing a little bit of change here. It's not as intense. The rotation is not as vigorous as it was, say, maybe 10 minutes ago. But again, this is still a very dangerous to potentially more situation here on the southern sides of the metro. Again, from Norman to Noble to Purcell to Wayne, the I-35 corridor, Blanchard, everything in between. This is a large tornado warning. You've got to take this serious. Immediate tornado precautions. And again, do not be caught out in your car driving home from work as this thing is now coming in on the southern sides of the metro. So it's changing shape, it's changing character just a little bit. And that may be a good thing. That may be at this point in time, this specific point in time here at 4:48 in the afternoon, the rotation may be on the decrease slightly. So that would be good if that was happening. That doesn't mean let your guard down. That doesn't mean there's not still a tornado on the ground. We had a report of a tornado 10 minutes ago on the ground down around the Dibble area. So we've got to take this very serious. But again, it still looks like the main center of rotation or the main part of the storm that's going to be the most serious. It is still going to be tracking up towards the Noble area and even towards the southern sides of Norman. It's that serious, folks. You've got to take your tornado precautions right now. Trey and Doug, you guys are still on the live line with us. We'll get back to your stream here momentarily, but again, tell us again where you are, and again, from your vantage point, tell us what you're seeing.
We're just to the east of Lindsay, just outside of town. We're heading north now, and we can see a lowering, but still can't tell if there's a funnel coming out of it, and still just a lot of precipitation. We're out of it right now. We're at the very leading edge of the storm.
Okay. And if you guys can get your stream up, I don't want to sound like a broken record. I know you're working on it, but it's just we really want to see those pictures. But I know sometimes when you're out there chasing, it's hard to keep the stream. It goes up and it goes down. I completely understand that. But let's go and zoom this out a little bit and take more of an overview. Again, if you're just joining us here at 4:50 this afternoon, this Friday afternoon here on Oklahoma Weather Tracker TV, tornado warning in effect for Cleveland and McLean County currently. And again, this is going to include the Norman area, Noble area, back down through Purcell. This is a supercell storm. It has at least produced 2 to potentially 3 tornadoes today. This is what we call a high precipitation supercell, meaning there's a lot of rain, there's a lot of hail involved with this, and a lot of times when that's the case, you're not able to actually see the tornado because it's wrapped up in rain. We have our storm trackers around it. We have Trey and Doug on this storm specifically. They're about to get their live stream back up. We'll take a look at it here momentarily. But again, for our friends from Norman all the way down through Purcell, you've got to be taking your immediate tornado precautions right now. The maybe glimmer of good news, at least right now at this point in time, is the rotation has maybe come down a notch in this storm, but it still has the potential, if it's not currently, to produce a tornado. And again, that tornado warning does continue. So we've got to take this serious. And again, the other thing I mentioned, if you're heading home from work, you do not want to be caught out in your car as the storm is approaching from the west. So if you're at work right now, you're thinking about going home, if you live in the Norman all the way down through the Purcell area, if you feel safe at work, you may want to shelter in place at work as this storm is coming in. But again, please do not be caught out in your car trying to drive home from work with this storm. Now, we know I-35 has been shut down north of Norman. There's no cars coming southbound on I-35 into the Norman area and beyond. So the OHP has already done that. But let's do this. Let's go and check back in with Trey and Doug. They're on this storm. They're still on the live line here with us. And guys, go ahead and give us an update. Tell us where you are and tell us what you're seeing.
we're heading north out of Lindsay. We can see, we just crossed into McLean County, and we can see a base to our north, and we can also see an area of rotation just maybe 2 to 3 miles north of Lindsay.
Okay, so we've got your stream up. It looks like you guys got your stream up, so that's good. We're able to see it. And now the area of rotation you're talking about, so you're heading northbound now, is that correct?
Yes, we're heading north.
Okay, and the area of rotation you're talking about, is that to your left or is that to your right? It would be over to your left, is that correct?
Yes, to our left is one of them, and then way off to our right, and trying to see another one, but it's in the rain, so it's hard to see it.
Okay, and if you guys just stay on it there, we've got your live stream up. They're a little bit to the south of the main area that we're concerned about, but that's all right. We're going to stick with their stream. You guys just keep jetting to the north there, and you're going to be in the area that we're concerned about here fairly quickly. I want to go back over to a mesoscan radar, and as we do that, let's go ahead and switch from the velocity mode. Let's go and switch back to the normal precipitation mode. And I tell you what, folks, I don't want to jinx this at all.
Call back in.
And again, we'll see exactly if the Weather Service does decide to extend that warning or not. But again, we are going to be tracking that very carefully. And again, we are going to be checking back in with Trey and Doug again, who are on that storm here momentarily as well. So let's go and zoom this out. Let's go and take more of an overview. Again, if you're just now joining us here on Oklahoma Weather Tracker TV, again, just before 5 o'clock, again, tornado warning does continue for the southern sides of the metro. It does include the Norman, Noble, all the way down through the Purcell area, Slaughterville as well. And again, this tornado warning, it's in effect for about another 4 minutes. And again, we have had some intermittent tornadic activity with this storm. And again, right now, currently, it is moving up basically into the Noble area, also the southern sides of Norman. This is the area we're most concerned about right here. The dynamics have changed some with this storm. In fact, the rotation has actually started to come down some. Again, I don't want to jinx it. I don't want to say that the rotation's going away. The tornado warning does continue. Tornado precautions, definitely mandatory, folks, if you're in the Norman all the way down through the Purcell area. And the other thing about it is, I know I've said it several times, a lot of people are heading home from work right now. It's 5 o'clock. You don't want to be on the roads, again, trying to get home from work as this storm is now moving in. So you do not want to be on the roads. Do not be caught in your car, again, as the storm is now moving in. Let's go back over to the live stream. In fact, we'll get back to that here in just a second. And we will go and check back in with Trey and Doug here momentarily as well. Again, they're on this storm. They're just to the south of it. There's their live stream. And again, the bad thing about this storm today has been the fact that there's been such heavy rain. These storms have been very involved in rain and in hail. And again, when that happens, it's very hard to see if there is actually a tornado on the ground. We've had reports of at least 3 rain-wrapped tornadoes today. And again, that still could very much so be the case. But again, at least right now, at this point in time, going on 5 o'clock now, it looks like the rotation has maybe come down slightly with this storm as it's now coming in on the southern sides of the metro. So we'll see if the Weather Service does extend that tornado warning, or again, exactly what they decide to do with it. But as we go back over to a live mesoscan radar here, again, we're just going to get Trey and Doug back on the live line here momentarily. Again, they're still on that storm. And again, as we take a look at their live stream here, as they're coming up from the south to the north on it, again, like I mentioned, rain-wrapped or heavy rain, that's going to be the main concern with this storm right now. So we're going to continue to track it. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to regroup here real quick, and we're going to be back here in about 2 minutes with our guys back on the live line with another tornado warning update. Keep it here with Oklahoma Weather Tracker TV. We'll keep you up to date with the latest live weather information for Oklahoma. All right, folks, this is a live Oklahoma weather alerts here just after 5 o'clock. And we're still in our continuous coverage here on Oklahoma Weather Tracker TV. William Cole here with you. And we have been tracking tornado warnings now on the southern sides of the Oklahoma City metro. We basically have these two supercells that are basically bound together, one producing very large hail in south central Oklahoma, and then one that has produced some intermittent tornadic activity on the southern sides and across parts of our really southwestern, and now moving in potentially to parts of south central Oklahoma. Our friends from Norman all the way down through Noble, tornado warning does continue there at least for about another 12 minutes until 5:15 this evening. As we go and take kind of a closer look at this storm, let me go and kind of move the radar around here just a little bit. And as we do that, we'll kind of zoom right on in. Again, at least the good news at this point in time, here at this 5:04 hour, is that the rotation that we saw earlier, it's definitely come down in intensity some. The tornado warning does continue, so we got to take that seriously. And again, also it being 5 o'clock, a lot of people are trying to head home from work. The thing is, you do not want to be caught in your car trying to get home from work as the storm is coming through. For the tornado potential number one, also the large hail potential as well, we have an opportunity for some $50 plus size hail with this storm. That can do some extreme damage, so do not be caught out in your car on the southern sides of the metro. But again, you can see really from the Norman area all the way down through Noble. Again, this right here, that's where the core of the storm is. Again, the good news at this point in time, that doesn't mean that this can't change here in 2 minutes from now, but at least the rotation that we saw earlier, it's definitely relaxed and it has definitely come down some, but this is still quite a severe storm. Again, moving through the southern sides of the metro, and again, that tornado warning does continue officially until 5:15. It does include Norman, all the way down through Noble, Goldsby, back through Washington, and even over through Cole, even though really the core of the storm is now to the east of Cole. But again, this is a very significant storm there on the southern sides of the metro, and again, it does mean business. Now let's go back over to our storm trackers here. Let me go and pull up their live stream. And we've got Trey and Doug. They've been on the southern sides of the storm, and they've been tracking it basically from really southwestern Oklahoma, now right here into parts of central Oklahoma. And Trey and Doug, are you guys still on the live line here with us? Guys, go ahead and give us an update. If you're on the live line, I know you're on the southern sides of this storm still. We're going to switch back over to your live stream. But give us an update. Tell us where you are, and again, tell us what you're seeing with the storm. It looks like we may have just lost them, which is okay. I know they're right there in the middle, right in the mix, so to speak. So again, that happens from time to time whenever you're getting in the middle of these big storms. Sometimes you're not able to keep, again, your cell phone service going. I'm going to zoom this out because minus the tornado warning that we currently have in effect here across parts of central Oklahoma, we do continue with the severe thunderstorm warning in effect down across parts of south central Oklahoma as well. And again, this is basically a line of basically 2 to 3 supercells. You can see really 3 separate cores here. And again, overall, this activity, it does continue tracking east towards the I-35 corridor. But again, the most intense or the most severe part of this line, again, it is on the southern sides of the metro, again, with that tornado warning continuing until 5:15 this evening. So let's go and zoom back in on that activity there. And again, the good news is at this point in time, no reports of any tornadoes on the ground currently. But again, tornado warning does continue. And it looks like here, I was just looking at the latest velocity scan as well, and it almost looks like the velocities are starting to come up, or the spin is actually starting to increase with this storm again, as it's basically directly over Norman. So again, without a doubt, folks, if you live in the Norman area, down through Noble, even down through Slaughterville, immediate tornado precautions right now. This is the core of it. Again, you can see the inflow notch right there. So this is the area that we're concerned about. And again, Trey and Doug, they've been tracking the storm really since southwestern Oklahoma. Let's go over to their live stream here. We still don't have them back on the live line, but let me pull up their live stream here. And as we do that, we'll take a look and you'll see exactly what they're seeing. They're on the southern sides of this storm. And again, the one problem that we've had today is that there's been such heavy rain falling with this. This is what we call a high precipitation supercell, that it's been hard to see the tornado. Earlier, we had reports of at least 3 rain-wrapped tornadoes, one down near the Elgin area, then another one near Fletcher, and then from another storm spotter, a rain-wrapped tornado possibly near the Dibble area. We haven't had any confirmation of any kind of damage or exactly how large those tornadoes were earlier. But again, this is still on the southern sides of that storm. Lots of heavy rain, hail falling as well. And again, that's what makes these things so much more dangerous when there is heavy rain involved, because you can't actually see the tornado. Again, all indications are right now is that the rotation has come down a notch with this storm, but again, the tornado warning does continue, and we do still have to take this storm quite seriously. Let's go back to our radar here. And again, as we do that, again, we're talking about the southern sides of the Oklahoma City metro, again, from Norman all the way down through Moore, all the way down through Slaughterville. Again, tornado warning does continue. It's in effect here for about another 7 minutes. We'll see if the Weather Service does decide to extend this tornado warning further to the east, or if they think the immediate tornado risk has maybe gone down some. So indications were the storm was kind of coming down in intensity some, but here over the last 5 minutes, there is some indications are that the rotation is actually trying to increase back up on it. So again, we've got to track this very carefully. Let's go back over to the live stream here. And as we do that, again, this is Trey and Doug's live stream, and we're going to get them back on the live line here momentarily as well, and to go ahead and talk to them. But again, this is what they're seeing. They're on the southern sides of this storm, and again, approaching it from the south. And again, like I said, here in just a few minutes, we will see if the Weather Service does decide to extend that tornado warning or not. Let's go ahead and take a look at velocities here, or the wind flow inside of the storm. And as we do that, I'm going to zoom this back on in here. And as we do that, again, you can see there's still very broad rotation. We don't have the super tight rotation that we had earlier with this storm, but again, still a lot of broad rotation. And again, it's basically focusing over the Noble and Norman area. So this is not a good situation, folks. If you guys do live in that area from Norman all the way down through Noble, again, immediate tornado precautions. The warning only lasts for about another 5 minutes, so it'll be interesting to see if the Weather Service does go ahead and extend that warning a little bit further off to the east. But at least for right now, immediate tornado precautions again on the southern sides of the metro. Let's go back over to the live stream here. And again, this is Trey and Doug. They are working their way to the north. You can see they're still involved in very heavy rain and even some hail with this storm here as well, as I do continue tracking up to the north and again, tracking the storm. So let's go back over to radar, and we'll talk to them live here on the live line here momentarily. But as we zoom this back out here, again, the area that we are concerned about is it's this little notch right here. And in fact, this is going to be the good news right here. So the Weather Service has just issued a severe thunderstorm warning, not a tornado warning on this storm. So again, the trend, or the decreasing trend, if you will, has continued with this storm. That again, they're not going to continue that tornado warning to the east. They're only going to put a severe thunderstorm warning on it. If you do live to the east of it, locations like Tribby, all the way over through Shawnee, Tecumseh, locations in between, even though you're only under a severe thunderstorm warning, keep in mind this has been a rather intense storm, and it doesn't mean it's not going to spin back up here really within the next 15 minutes. So still stay alert, even though you only have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect, again, from Tribby, Tecumseh, Lake Thunderbird area, and locations in between there on Highway 9 in Cleveland County. So a little bit of good news, again, as that storm did come in on the southern sides of the metro in the Norman and Noble area, that again, it did de-intensify some. So again, that's been some good news, but again, still very heavy rain, hail ongoing now on the southern sides of the metro, all up and down that I-35 corridor right there. Let's go ahead and take an overview again here. And as we do that, let me actually go and switch one of these radars around here. That way we can talk about what's going on around the rest of the state, because this is some fairly vigorous severe weather today. And as we go ahead and take a look at the overview here, so depending on where you live in the state, you're going to be interested in certain other areas. And as we take a look at the overview, again, you can see the stuff we're most concerned about. It's basically right here in central Oklahoma. I mean, look at this area of vigorous convection right there. So again, we had the tornado warning that is just now expiring on the southern sides of the metro. Again, the tornado warning has now been basically dropped. We have a new severe thunderstorm warning in effect for parts of Cleveland and Pottawatomie County. Then we also have this other activity down here in across parts of southwest and now south central Oklahoma. Very large hail, softball size hail could be possible with that storm right there. So we have a lot going on, vigorous severe weather. You can see this line of storms right there. It's definitely packing a punch, again, as it does continue tracking off to the east. Some scattered activity across parts of southeastern Oklahoma. We're tracking that as well. An opportunity for some quarter size hail, potentially in the stronger storms over there across parts of southeastern Oklahoma. So that's where we are, folks. Again, the tornado warning, again, has been allowed to expire, basically been dropped by the Weather Service. So we're going to take a quick break. We've been on here live for about the last 2 hours. But again, we'll have another live update for you here in about 15 minutes. Keep it here with Oklahoma Weather Tracker TV. We'll keep you up to date with the latest live weather information for Oklahoma.